It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And we've got C.J. Stroud. After his last game, he's now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Texans and the Seahawks, and it comes your way next on EA Sports.
As the sun starts to set, we're going to see how much light is left by the end of this early evening game here on the NFL on EA Sports. Joined by a former NFL quarterback up in the booth, Mr. Brock Heward. I'm Kate Scott, and Brock, you can brag if you'd like to, because I know you had quite the big arm in your days with the Huskies and the Seahawks in Seattle. Well, we've got a couple of quarterbacks here who also know how to push that football down the field.
Yeah, you got a couple QBs who are going to keep these defenses honest today, because the moment they get greedy in coverage or get too aggressive in the pocket, either of these quarterbacks can drop a dime, drop a deep throw right over him for big yardage, and maybe 6 points too.
We're through the bye weeks and into the race for the postseason. Week 15 is underway on EA Sports. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25 after the return. So here come the Texans for their opening drive. And leading them out is the second overall pick back in the 2023 draft from the Ohio State. It's C.J. Stroud.
Just an all-around great performance from him last week, Kate, in the win. Those 2 touchdowns he had played a big part in the victory, no question. But so did keeping it clean, not throwing a pick. You want to become friendly with your own defense? Make sure they don't have any extra possessions to defend. He did his job, and so did his teammates.
And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. Great start to the drive. They're up in the neighborhood of midfield after just one play. Running for the first time with Joe Mixon. And he's able to power this forward, but they stop him after 2 yards. We get a look at his rushing numbers from last week here, what he was able to do in support of that win. And no luck there, and that throw falls to the ground.
You hear defensive coaches preach this all the time about not giving up the big play. Keep everything in front of you. They're going to need to stay vigilant because he's definitely received.
Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the defense comes through. That's going to back him up and bring up 4th down. Punt team is on now, and they get this away. And he's got this fair catch right along the 12-yard line. So now it's the Seahawks' turn to take the field for the first time. They'll be led out by one of the league's promising young talents at quarterback in his first season out of Texas.
And when we look back at last week's win, Kate, pretty easy to see those 4 touchdowns had a lot more of an impact on the game than the 1 interception he threw. Wasn't quite perfect. I'm sure that pick will nag at him, but you'd welcome an encore of everything else he was doing in that ball game.
Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing. He gets it complete to Kenneth Walker. And they take him down at the 24-yard line. And that one goes for a gain of 11. And it sets up Seattle with 1st down.
At that down and distance, this group was pretty confident a screen would get him enough yards for the first, and it did. And so long as it keeps working like that, I bet you it'll be a go-to play for them when they need it the next time.
Complete to DK Metcalf. And he gets leveled just before he reaches the marker, and that hit prevents a 1st down. In a good spot here, 2nd and inches. Fakes the handoff, now to throw. That's complete, here's Brown. And what a hit there. Ouch, she pays the price for moving the chains that time. From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Kenneth Walker gets it for the first time. He's corralled after a modest 4-yard gain. That's Antoine Winfield Jr. up to make that play. A look at his numbers on the ground from last week here. 2nd and 6 coming up here. From the 48. Looking for a target. This one delivered off target, Brock. That's incomplete. Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Back to throw. Gets this to Fant.
I know on the stat sheet, Kate, that shows up as passing yards, but any defensive coordinator will take it. Understanding down and distance and keeping that offense short of the sticks.
4th down, and on comes the punt team, and the kick's away. And this one ventures out of play on the fly. The question is where it's marked. Looks like they'll say the 17-yard line. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. From the gun, Stroud. On target to his back, Joe Mixon. And he'll go down after pushing this up to the 29. And they've got themselves another 1st and 10. Running with Mixon out of the gun. And the push forward doesn't get beyond the line. Byron Murphy there to make the play. 2nd and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. On the ground again with Mixon. Jukes one defender. And they'll make the stop up at the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 17 on that one. And the Texans are going to have a 1st down. Keeping it with Mixon. And they beat him to the edge. That run stopped back at the line. Call it no gain on that run, and they face 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, it's Stroud. That's a catch for Nico Collins. And they get this down to the 44 before he stopped. The early returns on the stat sheet have been good so far, partner. He's off to the exact kind of start they were hoping he'd have.
Yeah, you can just feel the rhythm, the timing, the tempo, and that ball is zipping all over the field.
And they make the stop, we're going to say, at about the 37-yard line. That one gains 7. And it sets up a Houston 1st. Shotgun now for Stroud. That one doesn't find its man, incomplete. No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Staying between the tackles with Mixon. And he's able to get this to the 32 before going down. Stroud now on 3rd. Finding Collins. And this play reaches the 12-yard line before the stop is made. We're a quarter of the way through on this chilly winter afternoon. Couple of zeros on the board right now. More from Lumen Field in just a minute. Welcome back. Time for our 2nd quarter. The Texans with a chance to score. 1st and 10 are on to Mixon. And he'll take this only to about the 11 before going down. Only gets a yard there to make it 2nd and 9. To the air, Stroud. The throw is caught. Touchdown, Houston! So, Brock, this offense starting to find its rhythm a bit as they finish things with a touchdown there to give them the lead.
And the key word there that you said is finish, because you want to have that mindset, even early in the game, that field goals aren't going to cut it. So that's great work to make sure they finish with 6 points.
The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. On the return, here comes Trey Brown. And in the end, Brock, an exciting touchback as the return comes out to the 30. The Seahawks are headed out, and we'll see Kenneth Walker. And he has just shredded NFL defenses so far this season. You can see he's sitting 2nd right now across the league in rushing yards. First and 10 now from the 30. First play of the drive. Here's Walker. And the plunge up the gut yields nothing there. Second and 10. Need to get some positive yardage here. He'll throw it. He loses the football. And the Texans grab it. And they finally drag him down, but not until after a very nice return.
You know, Kate, that is just an awesome job by the defense. We talk about it all the time, pursuit and effort, pursuit and effort. Pursue, and they rip the football away, and then the effort for the big return on the fumble.
And he gets in, touchdown! The Texans get another 6 to make this a 13-0 game. It's a Joe Mixon touchdown. Point after, up and good by Fairbairn. And the Texans double their lead to 14. The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. Brown with a return here. He stopped on the return at the 27. Oh, hang on there. Hang on a moment. Looks like we've got an injured player on the kick return. They're going to check on him now. Play action on first down. Metcalf there to bring it in. That goes as a gain of 25 yards and picks up the first. One play in, and this drive is already into enemy territory. Walker on first down. And they've got him behind the line for a big loss.
Well, he was supposed to be the one who chipped away a few and got a new set of downs started right in rhythm. Instead, he's now forced to pick himself from behind the line thanks to a great effort defensively.
Left side caught by Metcalf. So now here's 3rd and 5. Shotgun snap, they're gonna throw. Has a man, it's Brown. And he stopped just before he reaches the red zone at the 21. A new set of downs awaits him. Here's 1st and 10. Setting up a throw. Has him on the quick hitter. And he'll go down here at the 16.
I feel so bad, I really do. And I don't mean this sarcastically, Kate. I feel bad for these guys in coverage. I don't know how you defend some of these players today because they get that drag.
And he's going to score. Touchdown, Seattle. The Seahawks start to fight back with their first points of this game. Myers gets the point after to go. And the Seahawks chop the lead in half. It's down
Personal
to 7.
foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
So they tag him for roughing the kicker. And now this kickoff's going to come from the 50. Let's see if they loft in and try to stick him deep. And just like that, we're back to a one-possession ball game as the kickoff is away. And that one flies right on past the end zone. Didn't make an effort to hit the landing area at all, so they're going to gift them a drive starting at the 30. The Texans and running back Joe Mixon headed out for their next series. And with the end of the season in sight, he's looking for a strong finish to capture that NFL rushing crown. This is ahead for about 5. Tackle made by Ernest Jones. Back to the line they go. It's 2nd down. Out of the shotgun, a give to Mixon. And he's going to get this up to the 45 before he's brought down. They get an even 10 on that play. And the Texans are going to have a first down. Timeout coming from the Texans. That's their first. Ball on the 45, 1st and 10. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. Into a crowd, and that pass is intercepted. Look at Xavier Woods in there to pick it off. And the Seahawks get the football as he makes his 3rd interception of this season. From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Airing it out to start this drive. And he just hucks this one away. Wasn't going to risk a throw or force something. It brings up second down. Back to throw. Pass complete to Walker. And this play heads out of bounds. Marker down, though, Brock. Could
Personal
be some free
foul,
yards here.
roughing the passer, defense.
Just a momentary loss of focus, a break in discipline, and not a good moment individually as he gets hit with that personal foul. Roughing the passer on that last play, and that's always going to lead to an automatic first down. Throwing from the gun here. Walker hauls it in. And he takes this one nearly to the red zone before going out.
Well, that's a pretty similar result to a first down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, and makes second and third down a whole lot easier to manage.
Into the hands of Walker. And they have this down to the 11 before being marked down. Give him 13 on that play. And the Seahawks will have a first down. Walker now from the gun. And he'll push them down to the 6-yard line. Give him 5 on that carry, bringing up second and 5.
You gain that kind of yardage in the run game, and you're going to gain the trust of your offensive coordinator. Plays like that, runs like that, set the table for everything else in the playbook.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And that one's going to hit the turf.
You need to buy your receivers enough time to get open along their route, and your quarterback enough time to find and hit them with the throw. When the line doesn't hold up, incompletions follow.
Oh, no touchdown. It's intercepted. Picked off by Derek Stingley Jr.
Well, that's it right there. That's the resilience and the mental toughness that every coach wants to see from his defense. Not a great spot for him. Backed up close enough that they're going to get shots taken in the end zone. But instead of collapsing under pressure, they rose up and they created the takeaway.
Houston calls it second timeout. They'll head up first and 10 from the 42. On play action, here's Stroud. He's going to try to drop it in deep right. And that's incomplete. 7 seconds left. Time for 1, maybe 2 more snaps. Couldn't connect on first. It's second down. He's back to throw. Into traffic, complete. And he's tackled after getting this to the opposing 46. Just before halftime, we get a timeout taken. A final throw before the break. Throwing for the end zone. That's much too high and out of the end zone, incomplete. We've come to halftime. The Texans in unfriendly confines, but hey, they've got the lead. Now we'll jump from the West Coast to the East Coast, down to our studios in Orlando. Jonathan Coachman standing by with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Kate, thanks very much. More from you and Brock in a moment. But first, time for a look around the NFL to see what's going on here and what's already been an eventful afternoon of football. We'll begin out in Southern California. The Chargers playing host to visiting Tennessee. And it's the Chargers who have the lead with that game getting close to halftime. Justin Herbert has thrown a touchdown pass. Next, we head off to check out another game. And it was the visiting Jacksonville Jaguars that go home with the victory. Travis Etienne, a touchdown run in the victory. Lastly, let's motor up to the Motor City. See what's happening with the Lions at home at Ford Field. As you can see the score there in the second quarter. Christian Watson, a touchdown reception. It was Joe Mixon who had it working in the first half. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead. Both these teams ready for the fight ahead. We're ready to get back to it as well. And to do just that, we'll hand it back over to Kate and Brock. These two teams making their final adjustments for the second half ahead. It's time to get back at it. For the call, let's rejoin Kate Scott and Brock Heward.
As always, a hat tip to Coach for his hard work during the break, as we're happy to welcome y'all back for the start of our third quarter. To return, Jerome Ford. Return's looking good so far. His return gets him to the 32-yard line before he's taken down.
Well, that's exactly the way you want to come out of the locker room to begin the second half. And really, Kate, this third phase of the game, the special teams, you just see the boost and the energy they can give to their team when they deliver a nice return to start this second half.
That's a catch. Jackson Smith-Njigba. And he breaks into enemy territory before being stopped on a huge gain. Thinking touchdown here after that big play. We've got 1st and 10 from the red zone. It's caught Metcalf. And he's brought down inside the 10 at the 9. 4 downs now to get in. Here's 1st and goal. Handoff to Walker from the gun. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
Situational football. Looking at 1st and goal, these defenses know what's coming at them. More often than not, a run play. It really is better to throw the ball unless you've got a way to disguise the run, and there was no disguising on that one.
And he's caught behind the line for a loss. So now, here's 3rd and goal. Here's a throw. From the pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And that sack gonna cost them some yardage. Jason Myers out there now to try a field goal for the Seahawks on 4th down. This is gonna be a 32-yarder from the left hash. Myers' kick is good. And it's dropped back down now to a 4-point game.
You know, you look at that 3rd down play, looking back, and it really turns into a 3-point play. It's why situational work is so critical. Coaches talk about it all the time. Sure, you love the field goal, but man, they would have loved a touchdown more.
Oh, he's showing some burst on this return. They'll bring him down on the return as he gets this to the 33. Houston's offense back out now and ready to go. Ball at the 33 for 1st down. Now begin with a run by Mixon. And 2 yards is all he's going to get before he's caught. Byron Murphy there to make the play. 8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. Stroud off the play fake. Headed out right. And they get to him as he was trying to make something happen. And that pushes him back. 3rd down coming up. Here's Stroud now. Complete beyond the marker. It's a gain of 29 yards. And it sets up a Houston 1st. A give to Mixon up the middle. Crosses the 35, room for more. And they'll finally bring him down at the 22. It's a gain of 27 yards to move the chains. The drive picks up here, 1st and 10. On the carry, this is Mixon. And he's brought down a little short. No, actually they do give him the 10-yard line. And when he reached 1,000 yards, it was a mark of a great season already, right? But this is rising to something else now. He's starting to get up to the stratosphere that only the greatest seasons reach. That is 1,500 yards for him after that last carry. Couldn't connect to a Tank Dell. It's 2nd and goal. From the gun, Stroud. Escapes out to the left. And he's able to get it to the 2 before the stop.
You know, that's a situation. May have worked out better if he'd thrown the ball. His running ability gets him a chunk of yards, but still some work to do to get that 1st down.
And he won't salvage that. It's a loss on the play. Kaimi Fairbairn out there now to try a field goal for the Texans on this 4th down. A pretty automatic look for him from the left. Eberle's kick is good. And add 3 to their lead as it extends to 7.
Well, that's the type of long, sustained drive that takes some of the starch out of your opponent. The only negative is that the kicking team was out there for a field goal and not an extra point. But they do come away with 3.
And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Now an inside give to Walker. And he drives that front backward on a gain of 4.
That is just a good, solid run right there. I know, that's pretty basic commentary, but sometimes football can be basic. It keeps you on schedule, that kind of yards per carry, and you move the sticks.
He gets it forward for a gain of 3. Brought down by the future Hall of Famer, Bobby Wagner. So nothing but a pair of field goals added to the board as we arrive at the end of our third quarter. It's the Seahawks with possession, needing to erase that deficit in a hurry. All plays on the table here for 3rd and 3. Running with Walker again. And he's brought down for a loss. Seahawks bringing out the punt team. And he'll try to have his second punt top his first one. And he's brought down before the return gets far. The Texans back out on offense. Their running back headed out once again. And those legs must be tired, but he ain't stopping, Brock. Not with the type of game that he's been having for himself on the ground. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Mixon on the counter. And he's downed after getting this up to the 41. They'll move the chains after that pickup of 12. 1st and 10 from the 41. Motioning the tight end now. 1st down, Stroud. Completed over the middle. And he's going to go down right along the midfield stripe.
That's what you call efficiency. Exactly what you're looking for on 1st down. Textbook. It sets up 2nd and very manageable, and then creates that space if you want to take a shot downfield.
And it's a nice gain on the run, aided by that broken tackle. And this is now a 100-yard game for him after that last carry. Man, what a strong day he's had running it for this offense. They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. This is Mixon. And he's able to get this to the 32 before going down. Ooh, after that play, we can tell he's hurting. He's someone they need to help their playoff hopes. Training staff working on him now. Bails out of the pocket quick. Now here he goes. And he takes this one nearly to the red zone before going out. A 9-yard gain and good for a 1st down. Here's Mixon. And he's only able to power this forward for about 3 yards.
Hey, not a bad play by any means, but there's room for more, and they know it.
They'll run. First give to Zach Charbonnet. He's inside the 10. And finally, he's down at the 5-yard line. Give him about 16 yards on that gain, Brock, and it sets him up with 1st and goal. They're going to run here. It's Mixon. Has the Houston touchdown. The Texans go up by 2 scores as they try to put this one away. It's a Joe Mixon touchdown. Fairbairn connects on the extra point. And the Texans double their lead to 14. The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. Brown with a return here. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. The Seahawks offense running out now. They were only on the field for 3 plays their prior series, Brock. Let's see what changes they make to take over here. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. And that was probably their last gasp. It's intercepted. Picked off by Derek Stingley Jr. And the Texans get it back on his 6th interception of the season.
Well, obviously not the cleanest game with now 2 interceptions, but here's the key. This is where mental toughness for a quarterback becomes so critical. And frankly, why some of the best QBs playing today have baseball in their background, because you flush your mistakes. Okay, you strike out, you throw an interception.
And in for the Houston touchdown. And with that score, he's reached a benchmark he's long had his eye on. 30 touchdowns in one season. And he's going to come away pleased with how well he has played to put up that kind of number this year. That one right down the middle. And the Texans stretch their lead to 21. The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. Brown with a return here. He lost the football, and the fumble recovery is made. The Seahawks offense ready to get going once again. Well, we all know at this point, turnover's the big problem for them in this game, Brock. And not surprisingly, the defense has capitalized on those mistakes on more than one occasion to their benefit.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that can be tough to win football games in spite of, right? But over the test of time, turnovers are the #1 thing that cost you games, especially after that first one. Once there's blood in the water, you feel it with the defense. They get all over you, trying to force another turnover and another and another.
So they catch the illegal block in the back, Brock, and that's rare that we see the clipping call. It's a dangerous play. It's rightfully going to back up this offense. 2nd and 8. Dumped off to his running back. And he's tackled after gaining a handful. So rather than let the 2-minute warning hit, the defense burns the first of its timeouts. All right, one more snap before the 2-minute warning. Fakes the handoff, now to throw. That's complete. Here's Brown. From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. They'll throw it again. Finds a seam down the middle. And he's going to be brought down at the 35-yard line. A new set of downs forthcoming. It's 1st and 10. Throwing now from the gun. Finds Smith and Jigba. And he's out of bounds just short of the 30.
Every once in a while, it's fine to be conservative on 1st down, especially when you get enough to stay on schedule and get a little something coming out of it, too.
From the 31. Gets it to him on the screen. He's got it in the red zone. And they stop him. He's marked down along that 18-yard line. Keeping that pace going as the clock continues to run. Has a man. It's Brown. And he's got it inside the 15 before going out.
Kate, if there was one throw in the game plan that kept me up at night more than any other, it was an out route versus zone coverage. Because you got to throw with anticipation, but you also got to make sure those defenders' eyes aren't reading you like a book.
Touchdown, Seattle! A second touchdown through the air for him, Brock, and independent of the game situation, we both know he's going to be happy to leave the field with 2 of them in one game.
1 touchdown, you just might be right time, right place, but 2 touchdowns in a game is always about the preparation. The separations and the preparation. It's doing that work on the practice field and knowing before the game that when my number's called, I'm going to be there to deliver.
So even after the score, they're still down 2 possessions. Time not exactly on their side as they try this onside kick. And the Texans secure that kick, no problem. And they get there to take him down right around the 41. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Going right side, mixing with it. Breaks the tackle, still going. And they bring him down, but there's a flag on the field.
Holding offense.
A game they were pretty happy with goes away via the penalty. And now we're going to wait to see how they respond. Running with Mixon out of the gun. And the defense is all over this one for a big loss. Let's see what they dial up on a 2nd and very long. Oh, look at this. He's setting up to throw. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. Now the Seahawks are going to spend their 3rd and final timeout. So not an enviable spot here as they come up on third and very long. They're going play action. On the move, headed right. On the run right, throwing deep down the side. He's got it inside the 10. And he flips the field for them before being taken down. Now, they don't need points anymore, Brock, but can they resist piling on? Let's see, it's first and goal. Staying between the tackles with Mixon. The timeout arrives with just 3 seconds remaining in this game, so we've got one more snap coming up. Now it's Kaimi Fairbairn on to try it for the Texans. This only a chip shot from the right hash. Everly's kick is good. And that makes this a 3-score game.
We got ourselves a 3-score game now after that make. It's got to feel like it's going to just about do it with any hopes of a comeback still smoldering. I think these kickers enjoy those opportunities, Kate, to be the one to kick this lead out of range.
And no return as this bounces through the end zone for a touchback. All right, this is going to be the final play of the game. One final shot here. And there's our last-in image of this game. It's intercepted. Picked off by Derek Stingley Jr. So the Texans come away with the road win. And this winning streak continues to grow as they claim their 4th victory in a row. So that puts a bow on this one. For my partner Brock Heward and everyone involved on our crew, I'm Kate Scott signing off. This has been another presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Texans as we say so long from Seattle.